Today we are going to be casting Aston Villa versus Leicester City, or I guess Leicester's at home, so it's Leicester City versus Aston Villa. We had a pretty exciting day in the Premier League. I'm almost kind of sad I didn't cast that Tottenham West Ham game that ended 3-3. If you guys didn't watch that, quite the tale of two ends of the game there. So watch some of the highlights or watch the full game, but pay attention at the beginning and end of the match, to say the least. But yes, Aston Villa and Leicester City here today. Two very good teams so far. Aston Villa has played one less game than everyone else. They had a game off at the beginning of the season because they were matched against Manchester City, who was given a week off along with Manchester United because they were the last two teams in European competition at the end of the summer. So they still have one less game to their name. But of course, they are coming off of one of the most famous wins we've ever seen for them, a 7-2 throttling of former reigning champions Liverpool. So they've been very good. They've scored a lot of goals. They looked very good in the Liverpool match. They looked good in their match before that. Not as good in the Man City match, of course, but they have looked a solid team. They're up towards the top of the table, which is unusual for them. Team's playing well. Ollie Watkins, signing for the summer from Brentford, has looked very good. Jack Grealish, of course, has looked excellent. They brought in some additional reinforcements in the likes of Bertrand Traore and a couple of others. So a solid team all around, and they'll be up against Leicester here, who are also up towards the top of the table and were top of the table until that disastrous performance against West Ham last week. They came off of throttling Man City, putting 5 past them in that victory. A very dominant victory from start to finish. They were in control of the game. They were in control, not of pure possession, but definitely of dangerous possession. They generated the most amount of chances for sure. They just looked extremely convincing and were much better than City, and then turned around and kind of laid an egg against West Ham. And West Ham has certainly looked a lot better. As you saw today, they made a huge comeback against Tottenham as well. But not the result you want to be dropping after you've beaten Man City to West Ham. And they lost that one very convincingly 3-0. So Leicester will be looking to bounce back this week and try to get a result here, as we are actually, they're showing the table right now. Aston Villa's in third. They've only played 3 matches. So this will be their 4th, but they are on 9 points, so 3-0-0. Sorry, I guess they were against Man U in week 1 and they beat them. I'm mistaking that. I'll need to check the schedule one more time. But yeah, Leicester right below them with 4 matches played, 9 points. So they're tied on 9 points. Of course, this is Aston Villa's technical. Well, they still have that game in hand, but they've played a match less. So we'll still can leapfrog Leicester in the table here and remain at the top if they win again at 3-0-0. So trying to keep that record going. I'm actually I'm interested in making sure Aston Villa. Let's see what we had here. Okay, so they beat Liverpool 7-2. They beat Fulham 3-0. And then their first game... Yeah, that's right. They beat Man U 1-0. Okay. Yes. My apologies. They didn't look that great in the Man U match, but they were better than Man U. If I recall correctly, they throttled Fulham, as one would generally expect, but still took care of business there. And of course, the Liverpool result as well. So we mentioned Leicester coming off of that defeat to West Ham, so they'll be looking to turn it around. We're going to go through the lineups here really quickly as the teams are kind of walking out of the tunnel. So for Leicester City, Kasper Schmeichel in goal, Timothy Castagne, Johnny Evans, Wesley Fofana in for the injured, or I think suspended, Kagler Soyuncu. James Justin at left back. Then Paulus Mendy going to be in the holding role. Yuri Tillemans, Dennis Pratt rounding out the midfield trio with Ayoze Perez, Harvey Barnes, and today Kelechi Iheanacho, the starting striker here. So Jamie Vardy unavailable for Leicester City here today, and that will be a big loss for them, of course. On the other end, for Aston Villa, Emiliano Martinez gets the start in goal. Matt Targett, Tyrone Mings, Ezri Konsa, Matty Cash make up the back 4. Douglas Luiz, John McGinn, and Ross Barkley, loan signing from Chelsea this season, already scoring in that game against Liverpool. Will be making up the midfield trio with Jack Grealish, Trezeguet, and Ollie Watkins making up the attacking 3. So should be fairly similar formations, 3 in midfield. We'll see how Leicester's kind of 3 play. You would expect Tillemans to be the advanced role, Pratt sort of box to box, and Mendy will certainly be the sort of dedicated holder. Again, definitely a box to box player. Douglas Luiz likes to get forward a little bit, but will probably be asked to do a little more of the defensive duties here, but should be matched up pretty well in terms of formation. So we'll be looking mostly at performance here. We'll be looking mostly at momentum, and the momentum definitely sitting with Aston Villa. Once again, 3-0 here, 2 big wins against typical top 4 opposition in Manchester United and Liverpool. Of course, you can argue whether or not Man U are considered top 4 at this point in the season. I think very fair argument to say they're not. Liverpool, definitely the opposite of that. So coming off that huge win and just generally looking a pretty good side, bringing in reinforcements throughout the summer. I'm excited to see what they do. I am predicting a 2-1 win for Villa here today, actually. We'll see if how that goes. I think this is a pretty coin flip toss. I think either one of these teams could have a good day and win. But if you're watching, let me know in the chat who you think is going to take this one. But I'm just excited for this game to get started. I think we're in for a very good match. Again, both teams play pretty good football. I think Leicester probably a little bit more expansive than what Villa tends to play. But again, Villa a little bit of a different team than we've seen from them in previous seasons. So looking forward to how this one turns out. Still got a couple minutes before kickoff here. So, for those of you that are new to the channel, I'll be doing play-by-play commentary as much as possible. I will interact with chat occasionally, but not too often until halftime, and then I'll give thoughts, opinions, player ratings, etc., whatever kind of comes to mind, and I'll be myself. But when we're in the game, I'll be focusing mostly on broadcasting. So that will be kind of how it plays out. So as soon as the game starts, I'll move the background here down a little bit. If the teams are a little too small there and you're having trouble reading them, let me know and I can make them a little bit bigger. But I will drop this background down at the start of the match and we'll have the scoreboard at the top left corner and we'll get going. It's a nice chilly, rainy day here in Chicago, so I got a good cup of coffee with me. It's keeping me nice and warm. Excuse me. All right, teams are lining up here, so I'm going to get into broadcasting mode here pretty quickly. Thank you for tuning in. Do hope you enjoy the game and the broadcast. Again, if you have any questions or you need things a little bit bigger or something, please let me know in the chat and I can do that for sure. But otherwise, I'll be joining you for thoughts and for thoughts about the match at halftime. So the team's finally getting ready here. You can see Kasper Schmeichel in one last conversation with the referee at the center circle, but will be a Villa kickoff here. Or no, looks like they're doing the toss right now, so trying to avoid doing that one on the sidelines as Jack Grealish and Kasper Schmeichel wearing the armbands today will exchange pleasantries and go back to their respective sides. Camera panning here to Ross Barkley, newly introduced Aston Villa player here on loan from Chelsea after was decided by Frank Lampard. Too many recruits coming in for Chelsea in the summer, not enough time for Ross Barkley in the midfield, and loaned out to Aston Villa and very quickly making an impact, had a huge role in the build-up to a lot of the goals against Liverpool, scoring one himself. So probably very excited to be getting regular playing time again. Here is Ross Barkley and looked very good with it in his first match. On the other side, Kelechi Iheanacho starting today in place of Jamie Vardy, who was unavailable for Brendan Rodgers. That, of course, will be a big miss for Leicester City, so we'll keep our eyes on how that one plays out throughout this match. They'll be missing a lot of goal-scoring power there. But this one just about to get started here. Jack Grealish standing over the ball. All the players taking the knee for Black Lives Matter. That's now customary across all of the English Premier League in search of continued justice for all human beings. And kickoff going to get started here. Tyrone Mings going to launch it over to the right-hand side. And sorry, let me pull this down for you. There we go. Now still on that right-hand side, Ollie Watkins fighting for possession, and Ross Barkley will actually come away with it. Douglas Luiz going to knock it back to Matty Cash. He'll lob this one up the line, but easily collected by Johnny Evans, and he will just lob it back up the field. And the first foul of the game here going to go in the favor of Leicester City. Foul onto Kelechi Iheanacho there by Ezri Konsa. So we'll get restarted here. Tielemans just going to leave it for one of his defenders and get a little bit higher up the field. Decent weather here in Leicester today, so nothing too bad. No heavy rain across Britain. As I was mentioning, it's raining in Chicago today. Fortunately, none of that. So we did have a lot of bad weather last week. Multiple games having pouring rain throughout, and the players, of course, used to that in Britain, but does speed up the pace of the games quite a bit. So none of that here today. We have good weather for these two sides, both sitting at towards the top of the table here. Each on 9 points. Aston Villa doing it in 3 games. Leicester City doing it in only 3 games. And sorry, QIP, I cannot show the game. That would be a violation of broadcasting rights, and I would get my channel taken down. So sorry, I can't do that. Castagna has it now on the right-hand side. You're going to look up the line into the feet of Iheanacho, checking deep. He is chased all the way back here by Tyrone Mings, and we already have a player on the ground here. It looks like it may be Ross Barkley or McGinn who's left on the ground. And now a decent chance here for Leicester City. Jose Perez at the top of the box going over to Castagna. He's going to clip it to the back post. Wide open is Harvey Barnes, but that one just evades him there. Goes over to the right-hand corner and is cleared out by Douglas Luiz. Leicester back in possession here. James Justin looking back for Youri Tielemans, operating in a deeper position right now, and Mendy will just find Johnny Evans. Would expect Leicester City to have a decent portion of the possession. They typically play a little bit more expansive football than Aston Villa, even considering Aston Villa's excellent run of form here in the last 3 matches. Leicester definitely more of the possession style of team here. This one now into the feet of Perez. Does well to ride the tackle of McGinn and carries on here. Has Douglas Luiz coming back. Is Kelechi Iheanacho trying to get around Tyrone Mings. Will not do so successfully. That'll be a foul on the Leicester striker. He briefly apologizes to Mings, and it will be a free kick to Aston Villa. Pretty tame start to this match compared to the one we saw earlier. By this time in the Tottenham West Ham match, already a goal on the board for Son Heung-min, and just 1 minute into the future, at about 8 minutes, we had a goal for Harry Kane as well. So bit of a slower start to this match, but more of a normal start than the one we saw earlier, as Jamie Vardy there in the stands with a cup of coffee, unable to participate in this match, and one I'm sure he would have been relishing. Vardy has always been a player for big matches, as one of the Leicester players now crumpled on the field here after that challenge. Ollie Watkins there apologizing, it looks like. Looks like this one is Wesley Fofana there, taking a bit of an arm from Ollie Watkins there. Didn't look like anything too intentional, just arms coming out for that aerial duel. So Fofana back on his feet, looks to be all right. Leicester will be able to restart this one. Yes, as we were mentioning, Jamie Vardy, a striker who is excellent in big matches, has a prolific record against teams that are typically in the top 4 or 5, and always is excellent in matches with teams at the top of the table, regardless of the time of the season. So that is a big miss here for Leicester City today. And Iheanacho, a much different striker than Vardy, not someone who typically runs into the channels as much. Typically more of a hold-up striker there with his back to goal. So will be a little bit of a different dynamic for the Leicester attack today. But Aston Villa trying to restart this one from the throw, and it's collected by Barkley. Moves this one wide to Ollie Watkins. Good exchange of passes there, but a nice sliding tackle from Youri Tielemans will poke it off of Barkley, and it will end up in the hands of Kasper Schmeichel. Mendy has it in the deepest part of midfield here. We'll look infield, and now back out to Castagna. Castagna back to Mendy here. Clip this one over to Johnny Evans. Evans going to take his time with this one. Looks over to Fofana. Here's some pressure from Ollie Watkins. Ross Barkley even playing a little bit higher, almost looking more like a 4-4-2 in the defensive shape are Aston Villa. Now here's Fofana once again. Nice pass from Fofana into the feet of Iheanacho, who dropped deep once again, was not chased by Mings. He'll shift this one across to Harvey Barnes at the top of the box. His pass over to James Justin does not connect. Instead, it is picked off by the retreating John McGinn there. And we'll go out for a Leicester throw-in. Decent attack there as Aston Villa defense not tracking Iheanacho. He dropped about 5 yards deep of that defensive line there and was able to pick that one up in a ton of space. Iheanacho once again on this ball, holds it up well. Now has found Ayoze Perez in field. He's going to shoot this one from about 20, but doesn't get the contact he wants on that one, and it ends up curling harmlessly into the hands of Emiliano Martinez. Emi Martinez, the signing from Arsenal this year, had been the Arsenal backup for quite some time. Came on early on in the season when Bernd Leno was injured and was absolutely spectacular for them. Also saved a penalty in his first start with Aston Villa, so has been an excellent acquisition for them, and finally getting some time to start with a Premier League side here, something that a lot of fans, a lot of pundits have believed he has deserved for a very long time. Martinez now out towards Jack Grealish, but this one's won by Castagna. Mendy with it will knock it back. Castagna has to chase it a little bit, but does have enough time to get it back to Schmeichel there, who will clear it up the right-hand side. Tyrone Mings knocks this one back forward. Bit of a duel here for possession between Matt Targett, and Dennis Pratt. Targett will win out on that one. It will be a Aston Villa throw in here. Throws this one up to Ross Barkley, and that one just poked right off his foot for another Aston Villa throw here. Keep your eyes on Ollie Watkins in these positions in the field. He has been cropping up similar to Dominic Calvert-Lewin for Everton. Always available for a cross in field. Loves to make back post runs, try to get his head on the ball, and has been extremely prolific, pulling a hat trick in that prior match against Liverpool after being signed from Brentford in the Championship just a couple weeks beforehand. Leicester City now coming away with it once again. Ayoze Perez has 2 Aston Villa players for company, but will be able to get out of that situation. Finds Fofana with his pass, and now Johnny Evans has some room to restart this attack. Evans over to Fofana. Fofana back to Evans. Leicester taking their time a little bit deeper here than I think they would like, and Aston Villa actually happy to pressure this one. Their line of Ollie Watkins and Ross Barkley very high up the field now. Now they're also joined by Trezeguet there pressuring, and they do force Leicester into a poor clearance there. They will take possession back, although they are forced to instantly play that one long as Riconsa. Here's Watkins trying to hold that one up. Will not do so. Will go out for a Leicester throw. So it looks like Aston Villa going to try to pressure Leicester a little bit more in this match. You can see that pass actually splitting a couple of lines of Aston Villa players. There's an open player over here. It is Castagna. He is found well by Harvey Barnes. Is met by Targett. We'll reset it to Mendy. Mendy going to cross it from the top of the 18 here. Good header away there by Matty Cash. Pratt comes away with it. Good combination play, but an excellent tackle from Trezeguet takes that one away from Harvey Barnes. He can only clear it as far as Tielemans, though. There's a good tackle from Matty Cash. Will win possession back. Now, Ross Barkley can turn here. Gives it to Trezeguet. Trezeguet pressured here by Pratt. A good turn back from Matty Cash will find Emi Martinez, and Aston Villa able to retain possession here after breaking up that Leicester City attack. Target infield to John McGinn. Still waiting to hear Jack Grealish's name here. Has not been very involved as Aston Villa not in a ton of possession yet. He's still sitting out here on the left-hand flank. Someone who finally getting a couple of appearances for the English national team, although not getting a start yet over Mason Mount, much to the chagrin of Aston Villa fans. Despite the great form he has been in at the start of the season and the end of last season. Meanwhile, he does, just as we're saying, that does go and hack down, I believe, Yuri Tielemans there. Nothing too bad after being robbed of possession, but pretty easy foul call for the referee. So Leicester City will have it back. They'll look in field here to Pratt. See, all three Leicester City midfielders a little bit deep here. Finally, Pratt going to move a little bit higher to offer a deeper option to Evans. James Justin going to look towards Pratt. He actually has found Iheanacho in behind, but good reactions by Emi Martinez. He's able to come out, clear that one away, and it looks like he may have gotten clipped by Iheanacho as he was running out to get this one. Take a look at the replay here. Evans shifts this one out to Justin. It looks like Iheanacho is on sides, at least from this angle. There probably is a better one to look at. Emi Martinez is quick off his line to get that one, and not sure what exactly connects. He's holding his chest, and yeah, this one's being sold a little bit here, I think, as Iheanacho just making slight contact with his right hand there to Martinez's shoulder. Martinez definitely selling the pain on that one a little bit more than he probably needed to. Meanwhile, Leicester trying to clip this one in behind Konsa, but goes just a little bit too long for Harvey Barnes, and Aston Villa can come away with it, though Cash is run down by Harvey Barnes, forced to turn back and start again from the heart of their defense. Ooh, and that's a poor pass there from Douglas Luiz. Here comes Iosi Perez, cutting to the left, but that attack is broken up by John McGinn. He will hoof this one forward up the left-hand line. Watkins chasing it with Fofana. Looks like it will come off of Watkins and go out for a Leicester City throw. Fofana now shifting this one over to Johnny Evans. He will go all the way back to Kasper Schmeichel. Schmeichel out here to Fofana. Back to Schmeichel now. So Leicester trying to build up their attacks from the back, but once again, you can see how high the Aston Villa pressure line is here. Ross Barkley pressuring Johnny Evans there just as he gets it outside the 18. Now Ollie Watkins coming over here to try to add a little bit to Fofana. He's going to force him long. That one will not connect, although a bit of a mistake there by Tyrone Mings. Now has to run back here as this one played in behind for Iheanacho, but Mings able to amend the mistake on that pass. He gets there before Iheanacho and now is able to clear this one back up the line. Grealish looks like he gets there first, has gotten back to his feet. Decent tackle by Castagna. But in the end, it looks like it has come off Castagna for an Aston Villa throw. So far, the Aston Villa pressure being fairly successful against this Leicester City possession. The mistake by Tyrone Mings certainly a little bit unrelated to their pressure. Just individual error there trying to collect that long pass from Fofana. That one falling to the feet of Pratt, who then tried to play in Iheanacho, but as mentioned, Mings able to race back and get there before Iheanacho and avert any danger caused by his slight error there. A bit of a loose touch there from him again, but is able to get it off of Iheanacho for a throw-in. So far, Aston Villa have been successful in forcing Leicester to play long balls over the top again with only one striker out there, Iheanacho, and the type of striker that wants to hold up play instead of running to the channels. I think Aston Villa thinking that they can try to press high up the pitch, that there isn't really any way for Iheanacho to beat them in behind and try to force Leicester into mistakes or at least try to regain possession from them higher up the pitch. Villa now the ones in possession, though. You can see Leicester opting for a similar strategy here. You can see how high these two players are, Iheanacho and Dennis Pratt here. Right, just to the flank of Douglas Luiz either side, and now Pratt going to go out to pressure one of the center backs. Iheanacho here matched up with Mings. Mings now has it on his left foot here. Is just going to go back to Martinez. Options seem limited up the field at the moment. A little bit of room to work for Konsa here, but now Pratt has come in. Oh, Pratt going to clip Konsa there. Pretty easy foul call here for the referee. Aston Villa trying to stay composed there, but you can see how long it took them to try to find a pass. The center backs not seeing good options up the field. Martinez now standing over this one. Here is the long ball from Martinez. This one won by Johnny Evans, which goes straight in the air. Bouncing ball will last come off a Leicester player, so Aston Villa will be the ones with the throw-in. 15 minutes into this one, still no action to really speak of. No shots on target from either side. No real chances. And no goals as of yet. This one bouncing around in the middle of the field will be collected by Iheanacho. Waiting for some support. We'll find Castagna. Forced back to Schmeichel. Schmeichel now over to Evans. Now come into the feet of Fofana. Once again, the cagey battle between these two teams in possession shown here. Again, the two center backs spread wide outside of Schmeichel, but every time they receive a pass, one of the Aston Villa players is coming up to pressure them. So Schmeichel will just look long instead. Picks out Castagna well on this far touchline. Good combination with an Iheanacho there. Great ball out here to Dennis Praet. A little bit of room to work for Praet. He's going to cross this one in with his left, but that one deflected. Comes to the feet of John McGinn, and he is absolutely barreled into, I believe, by Ayoze Perez there. Will draw a foul. The danger of that attack will fade away here, but a decent string of passes here from Leicester City. Finds its way out to Praet. He looks back inside for Castagna. It's actually James Justin coming through John McGinn there. A very clean play from the side of Leicester City, and you can see how open it does get if you're able to connect those couple of passes through the initial two lines of defense for Aston Villa. A similar thing should be true. Of Leicester City, considering how they are pressuring Villa. As we see Brendan Rodgers talking to James Maddison on the sideline here. Maddison once again not getting the start here today, but already in conversation about how to potentially deal with this. And meanwhile, Ayoze Perez in behind the Aston Villa line tries a back heel to get it to his teammate Iheanacho, but will not succeed. Not sure if he's drawn a foul here. I think it may have been called back for offsides. Looks like it will be Aston Villa possession. Perez did look to be offsides, though we haven't seen an official confirmation, and of course can't hear the broadcast here. So either way, Aston Villa will be the ones with the ball. Tyrone Mings can restart this one, moves this one out to Konsa. Matty Cash now looking up the right-hand touchline. This one easily headed down by Justin. Yuri Tillemans tries to flick it over ahead of Douglas Luiz. He's helped out by Praet, who will find Fofana. Praet now with three players surrounding him will lose out on possession. McGinn finds Grealish over on the left-hand side. Grealish trying to dance around a couple of challenges. Will connect with Douglas Luiz. Here's an underlap from Matty Cash. It will just be crossed from the side. That one headed away by Fofana. Collected well by Grealish into the feet of McGinn. McGinn clipping this one back out wide. Now Grealish has it. Grealish absolutely swept over there by Dennis Praet. Bit of a clumsy challenge there from the Dutchman. Leaves his leg out and kind of sweeps through the back of Grealish here. You can see on Grealish's initial touch, just gets his body in the way of Praet. And yeah, Praet diving in, thinking he can get that ball, comes right through the body of Grealish. Grealish is a player who gets fouled extremely often, is very, very adept and crafty with his dribbling skills, often baiting players into clipping him or coming through his body. So we'll draw another one here, and a decent set piece opportunity for the side of Aston Villa. Looks like Grealish and Matty Cash maybe standing, or in target, but standing over this one. Here comes the ball in. It's a poor one. Floats a little bit too high, and Schmeichel able to come out and claim that one very easily. Ollie Watkins trying to be a bother there for the Leicester keeper. He's going to launch this one long for Ayoze Perez. Great punt there from Schmeichel. Will pick out his forward, and now it's connected with Mendy. Perez looks back for Castagna. Good retreat from Aston Villa. That was an excellent punt from Schmeichel once again. Here's Castagna. Moves this one back into the feet of Fofana. And it goes over to Johnny Evans. Now Evans back into the feet of Schmeichel. Still very slow here in the progress for Leicester City. Trying to play this one out of the back, trying to play through midfield. They don't want to play long passes. Villa still here with the slow pressure. Will find Tielemans inside midfield. Now it's into the feet of Perez. He looks through the gap here, almost finds Iheanacho in behind, but he is slowed by Mings. Great pass out to Castagna. A bit of a coming together of bodies there. Castagna's going to shoot. It's a great save from Emi Martinez. And appeals to the referee as there was a collision, I believe, of Harvey Barnes and Matty Cash there at the edge of the box. We'll take a look here. You can see Cash in the number 2 jersey here down on the left-hand side of your screen. So initial pass broken up. Here's Barnes. Yeah, and Barnes actually runs right over Matty Cash, and that keeps Cash from going out to defend Castagna. That allows Castagna to take an aggressive touch. He gets his shot away after not seeing any options, and Martinez does an excellent job knocking that away from the goal mouth. And nothing doing here for Aston Villa, so it will be a corner kick here for Leicester. Taken short here, Harvey Barnes moving it back to the edge of the box. Castagna looking back out here for Tielemans. Wants the cross, but is well defended by Cash here. Here's James Justin. Going to look back across here for Castagna. Or sorry, this is Tielemans now on the far side. Tries to nutmeg Cash, but will not do it. Grealish has popped right around Castagna. Here's some room to run for Aston Villa. Grealish into the center space. Looks for the pass wide to Douglas Luiz, who has Ross Barkley in support. It's an early cross, but James Justin is there. Will head that one away. McGinn has it. Clips this one into the box. Ooh, that's very close to Trezeguet there, but just evades the midfielder there for Villa and will bounce into the hands of Kasper Schmeichel. Yeah, it's a good look for him again there. Sees the late run of Trezeguet. Tries to pick him out, but just evading his teammate there. First couple of good looks here for Aston Villa. Still not really a great shot on target for them, but those last 2 attacks have looked very dangerous. Grealish just hauled to the ground here, but will not get any sympathy from the referee. Leicester will play on here. Good turn by Iheanacho. Going to shoot from the top of the box here. But again, Martinez sees it the entire way and will catch that one fairly easily. This is a good turn from Iheanacho, though. Notice he has no pressure. Drives inside, gets himself into a decent shooting angle. Iheanacho has looked fairly sharp here to start the game. Has held up play well, has turned well. Has generally looked a nuisance. The only thing he hasn't really had in the bag again is those runs in behind normally provided by Jamie Vardy. Target restarting this one. Great turn here from McGinn through 2 Leicester players. Almost gets through 3. It does end up at the feet of Grealish. Great tackle here from Perez, chasing Grealish from behind. This one launched forward. It still will be Aston Villa in possession. Konsa going to knock it back to Emi Martinez, and he will restart it from the back. It's not quite the energy and excitement we've had from a couple of games this weekend, in particular the West Ham-Tottenham match just earlier today, as well as the chaos provided by the Everton-Liverpool match. Of course, a lot of questionable refereeing decisions in that match benefiting Everton, but nonetheless was a very exciting back and forth match between those 2 sides in the Merseyside derby. Certainly the most competitive Merseyside derby we've seen in many years. Aston Villa looking to play this one out. Both teams still very committed to trying to play out on the ground here. Trying to play through midfield. Tyrone Mings has it now. Looks out to Matt Target. Doesn't see anything. We'll go back. Very patient play again from Aston Villa here. This one moves back into Douglas Luiz. Here's McGinn again. Sees a run there from... Oh, picks out Target very well here with a long ball. This one inside the box to Grealish. Grealish looking for a chance. Crosses it. Here's the shot! Oh, it's just wide there. I'm not sure who it is. I think it may be Douglas Luiz. There are appeals for a foul as it looked like he was clipped in the shooting motion. Sorry, that is Trezeguet coming in there. Beautiful ball here from John McGinn. Great short pass from target as well. Picks out Grealish. He sees two runners at the top of the box, and it's both Matty Cash and Trezeguet there coming in. It ends up being Trezeguet getting the shot on it. And it looks like James Justin does just enough to throw Trezeguet off there. There were claims of a foul there on Justin, but nothing doing. Referee not even going to check this one, as the shot did go through from Trezeguet. But the best attack we've seen of the game, really, coming there from Aston Villa. We had one good shot coming in from Timothy Castagna for the side of Leicester under questionable circumstances, with Matty Cash being hauled down accidentally by Harvey Barnes. Konsa and Iheanacho both ended up on the ground after that aerial duel. Konsa now getting up, claiming to have taken an elbow. Referee's over to discuss it with them. Take a look at the replay. Yeah, arm just comes up here from Iheanacho, but again, nothing unnatural. It's very natural for players to have their arms come out when they jump up. You know, it's a natural jumping motion to try and swing your arms backwards. So don't see anything in that at all. Iheanacho certainly never looks at Konsa, doesn't size him up. Here's Mings once again, moving this one out to Douglas Luiz. We'll cut it back here for Barkley. Harried here by Kelechi Iheanacho. Will be forced to turn back. We'll go all the way back to the defenders. Villa now chased all the way back to Emi Martinez. Just about 28 minutes into this one still. No goals on the table. Couple of shots on target from either side. Best chance of the game probably falling there to Trezeguet for Aston Villa. Attempted pass by Mings is actually deflected by Perez, and now there's some room to run for Harvey Barnes. Villa players do well to get back quickly there. They do force him wide to Castagna. Mendy inside to Barnes. Trying to exchange passes with Pratt, but it's picked off. More good defending here from Villa as Cash knocks that one away. Here's Evans. Tielemans taking his time here. We'll shift it over to Fofana, who's harried a little bit by Watkins. Great pass into the feet of Perez. He leaves it off for Iheanacho. Mendy out wide to Castagna. He's met by Target. Oh, great flick back into himself. He's going to cross that one deep. Good defending there by Trezeguet. Now pressuring James Justin has poked it away from him. Tielemans has his pass deflected by Trezeguet as well. It will go out for an Aston Villa throw. James Justin throwing this one into Pratt. Cash, excellent defending here as the two get into a tussle of bodies, and a foul has been called by the referee. I think that will go against Dennis Pratt. Cash seemed to have the better body position there. Very strong defending there from the right back. He rises back to his feet here. Pretty even in this match so far. A little bit more pressure from Leicester in the earliest stages. Aston Villa certainly getting their feet into this game around the 20-minute mark. You see their best chances coming after that. And both teams have had a couple of flowing moves here, but still no real gilt-edged chances yet for either side. And no goals yet on the table in this one. This ball now bouncing around between the two players. Will be flicked out wide to Harvey Barnes. Leicester now in control. Oh, and good move by Barnes. Will evade the challenge of McGinn. He gets clipped on his way past the Aston Villa midfielder and will draw a foul for his side. Harvey Barnes has been very good for Leicester. Was on and off starter last season, but with some of the roster changes in the off season, and with the quality of his performances, now an out-and-out starter, and has shown his quality throughout the beginning of this season. It's that attempted free kick into the path of Barnes, not on the same page there with Yuri Tielemans. That one will dribble out for an Aston Villa goal kick. So chance wasted a bit by Leicester City as we've ticked over the half-an-hour mark here. 3 players here from Villa hanging out in the 18-yard box trying to play this one out. You can see Pratt and Iheanacho all the way at the top of the 18, trying to provide some pressure, not allow this to happen, and they will be forced long. Mendy will win the initial header, but the second ball comes down to Villa. Here's Target. Out to Grealish. 2 players at 1 point for company. Just rides a couple challenges. One from Perez there. Still dribbling through. Is through 2 and now gets clipped by Perez. And will draw a yellow card. Excellent change of pace there and very confident dribbling from Jack Grealish, and draws another foul here. This one a yellow card on Perez. You can see just kind of just a burst from Jack Grealish there. Pushes him past 2 Leicester defenders, both of them taken by surprise. And Perez coming in a little late with that challenge, will find himself the first player in the book here. Free kick over to Aston Villa. Looks like Target standing over this one. Launching it towards the backside, and that's well headed there by Fofana. Bit of a miscontrol by McGinn, and now Harvey Barnes can break. He's taken down here. I'm sure this will be a foul on advantage for Leicester City. And because of what just happened earlier, I think this may be influencing McGinn's decision, and he will also get a yellow card. So 2 players in the book here. McGinn following shortly behind Ayoze Perez, and now 1 player on either side have been cautioned here by the central referee, John Moss. Leicester restarting this one. Still stuck in between their 2 central defenders here. Schmeichel now going to launch this one out to the far hand touch line. That one's won by Villa. Grealish ends up on the ground again, but his team does have possession, so play will continue. Good pass in here from Barkley to Grealish. Grealish out wide to Target. His pass a little soft. Forces Target into a low cross that is cleared away by Fofana. Helped the rest of the way by Justin, and a handball there on Iheanacho will result in an Aston Villa free kick. And Aston Villa definitely have the better of the game right now. You can see their possession moving up the pitch. Their center backs now controlling the ball right around half. They've been able to get in between the lines for Leicester City and have looked the more dangerous of the 2 sides. We'll see if Leicester can turn it around here as they're starting a counterattack here. Great back heel from Pratt into the path of Harvey Barnes. He'll turn back, then find Pratt back out wide. 3 blue shirts in the box, a 4th coming forward. Here's a deep cross over towards Castagna, but that one is poor from Pratt, and it will go out for a goal kick. So still balanced here at 0-0, 34 minutes in. Again, a couple of chances on either side, but no flurry of opportunities, no true gilt-edged chances. And Villa definitely in the ascendancy. Although here's a mistake by Konsa. Passes it right to Harvey Barnes. In behind here is the ball for Pratt. What a challenge there from Matty Cash. Sliding in to knock that one away from the path of Pratt. And he spares the blushes of Ezri Konsa there, as we were just about to talk about how Villa have been in the ascendancy in possession with chance creation. And Konsa nearly throwing it all away there, as here's a nice crossfield pass from Barkley. Grealish bumped into from behind by Castagna will draw another foul. We've mentioned this a couple of times, how good Grealish is at drawing fouls. This is the 3rd one on him in this match. That is quite a few on a single player, particularly in just a single half of football, not even a full half. Castagna apologizing a little bit. Still balanced on the knife's edge here, despite Aston Villa being in the ascendancy. You can see that Leicester City can counterattack. They looked the better of the 2 sides in possession for the first 15 minutes as well. So Certainly either side could score here. Aston Villa currently seem the most likely. But in a 0-0 game, any mistake, any chance can turn into that lead. And there's a silly foul by Iheanacho onto an advancing Konsa. Here is Barkley now. Douglas Luiz dropped very deep here, even deeper than Tyrone Mings. He'll shift that one over to Konsa. Clipping this one long to the left here. Headed down very well by Target, collected by Grealish. He will ride the challenge of Perez, gets back to his feet into Barkley, who moves it out to McGinn, has the underlap from Cash. His attempted cross is blocked by James Justin and will go out for a corner kick. Matty Cash has been very willing to underlap in this game. He's making a lot of runs there to support John McGinn and Ross Barkley on that right-hand side. A little bit less from at Target. It's looked more for deeper crosses or to try to play into the feet of Jack Grealish. We'll see if Aston Villa can break the deadlock here. McGinn crossing this one in. It will not beat the man at the front post and cleared away well by Harvey Barnes. Excellent volley there. We'll go all the way past half field. It is Cash to collect it. He'll look long across the pitch here, in towards the path of Watkins. He will find Watkins. Watkins' first time cross towards the back post will evade Trezeguet, but finds the feet of Barkley, trying to find an ounce of space here. Shifting back and forth, has James Justin defending him, and Justin does an excellent job forcing him back. Now with Grealish, trying to get a half yard of space for a cross. Again, well defended here by Pratt, and this time the foul will go against Grealish. It will be a Leicester free kick. Excellent defending there from multiple Leicester members. And they will get rid of the danger in that attack. You can see my mic is getting a little loud here when I talk, so I'm actually going to turn it down just a tad. Let's see if that's better. That looks a little better. Yeah, do let me know again, chat, if anything needs to be changed. The size of the players, the sounds of the mic, maybe background noise or anything. That's the kind of stuff I can fix as we go on. Play has resumed here with Leicester City in possession. And a bit of a late foul call here by the referee. Will just be a simple free kick over to Leicester City. So once again, still no real action in this match. We have yet to have a good shot on target in quite a while. No goals for either side. Both have defended very well to their credit. Couple of random mistakes here and there from the Aston Villa defenders, but ones that have been cleaned up by their teammates. This target looks long up the line here. Fofana holding off Watkins here. Does a nice job finding Schmeichel's feet. Schmeichel will go long to the left here towards Harvey Barnes, defended by Cash, and he will do better than Cash. And oh boy, Cash with a very, very clear drag back onto the shorts of Harvey Barnes will take his yellow card for sure. And Cash got absolutely bodied here by Harvey Barnes. Just comes out completely second in that challenge and pulling his shorts with both hands there as Barnes literally dragging him along the pitch there. Easy yellow card for John Moss there. One of the easiest you'll ever see, and quite the funny look, reminding me of Paul Pierce's pants being pulled down by a defender in the NBA multiple years ago. But jokes aside here, a free kick coming in from Yuri Tillemans will go in towards the middle here. Headed well by Tyrone Mings, but it's down inside the box. Flicked away by Grealish to Pratt. Mendy back out to Pratt. Into the feet of Mendy. He'll go all the way back to Castagna. It's a bit of a dangerous pass from Castagna into Tillemans. Tillemans handles it well. Now he has it once again. Oh, attempt at an entry pass there is intercepted by McGinn. He will pick out Douglas Luiz. He gets taken out by Tillemans, who will certainly get a yellow card for this after this play is over. Attack will continue. Here comes McGinn. Trezeguet. He'll dance by Johnny Evans and will draw a foul here in a very dangerous position. just on the corner of the 18-yard box on the right-hand side. And as I mentioned, here comes the yellow card for Youri Tielemans. So 2 Leicester players now find themselves in the book, along with 2 Aston Villa players. 4 cautions handed out here by the referee. All of them very deserved for dragging down players who looked like they have a counter. As, yeah, very late challenge there from Tielemans. I think he knows it as soon as he gets up. He will find himself in the book along with his teammate Ayoze Perez. Very promising spot here for target here. You have to imagine it will be target. Free kicks towards the attacker's right hand of the box, the goalkeeper's left side of the box, right, his left hand. When you're in swinging, typically much better for a left-footed player to try and swing it into the upper 90 there. Much harder for a right-footed player to do so. It still could be Douglas Luiz, who is the second player standing over the ball, but most likely going to be target here. Here comes target. And that one's always rising. Gets a little bit too far under that one. Never really challenges Schmeichel there. We see the replay of this one. Yeah, a little bit too much power. Doesn't quite get the dip on the ball that he wanted there. Gets a little bit of the whip, but none of the dip. And that one soars high over the crossbar. So Schmeichel now clearing this one away up towards the right-hand side. Well won by target. Down into the field of Grealish. He is challenged well by Fofana. It looks like Fofana is taking a clip off of the boot of Grealish. Don't think this is a yellow card for Grealish. Looked like he was just going for the ball here and not in a dangerous position on the field. So we'll hand the ball back over to Leicester City. But again, 42 minutes in this match. We still are without a goal. We have had some chances here, but really nothing gilt-edged in this half. So potentially a little bit disappointing because some of the patterns of play from both sides have looked excellent, have been very dangerous, but neither one of them really able to put the final pass, the final delivery, the final shot in the right place so far to really make a threat or put one behind the opposition goalkeeper here. Castagna now crossing this one over to Barnes. It's Trezeguet tracking back and knocks that one out for a throw-in. James Justin miscontrols a little bit, and another good challenge from Trezeguet. He has been very industrious on this right-hand side, involved in one of Aston Villa's best chances of the match, has also tracked back 4 or 5 times to clear balls away at the back post, knock balls out for throw-ins, has really been helping out Matty Cash. And you can see Cash enjoys it when he tries to make a lot of these underlapping runs, knowing that he has Trezeguet there to help him should things go wrong or the ball be turned over. Camera panning here to James Maddison, who are still unable to start for his side here and was one of their most influential players last season. Very surprising to still see him on the bench. Of course, was dealing with an injury throughout the summer, may still be coming back fully from that, but is the kind of player that can really open up this game for Leicester City here. They are lacking a little bit of creativity in their lineup. Barnes much more of a dribbler. Ayoze Perez with some creativity, but does play out on the right-hand side, so often a little bit trickier for him and likes to try to drop into central spaces. James Justin going to throw this one up the field, but it's headed back away by an Aston Villa player. Mendy under pressure from Barkley. I'm not sure there's much in that. And here's a ball in from behind for Watkins. I think he may be offsides. Here's the attempted cross, and it will be offsides here against Ollie Watkins. Take a look at the replay here. You see Trezeguet. Ooh, that's actually fairly close. He may just be on sides with that replay. Yeah, I think that's continued VAR. That would have been a very close VAR review, although we've seen VAR reviews may not be absolutely foolproof if anyone was watching the Liverpool-Everton match earlier this weekend. Here's Jack Grealish, matched up against Castagna. Will shift over to the right, finds Ross Barkley at the top of the box. Barkley trying to get a half yard of space, but Perez there to help out his defenders. Here's Target back to Barkley. Into Grealish, looking for a combination here. One slightly poked away from him. Oh, great back heel here from Target. Target's inside the box, clips it across. Oh, and it's just too high for the onrushing Trezeguet. It's still with McGinn here. He's going to clip it in, but it's blocked by James Justin. Wow, excellent move there from Ross Barkley and Aston Villa. And it almost comes off there for Target, but his cross just about a half foot too high for Trezeguet at the back post. Here is Cash throwing this one in. It's won by Leicester City. We'll go back out for an Aston Villa throw. We've reached the end of regulation here. 2 minutes of stoppage time have been given by the referee, so not much more in the proceedings for the first half. Already about 15 seconds of those chewed up here by Matty Cash going to chase this throw in. Cash taking his time here. They seem happy to try to keep this one in this end for the remainder of the half. He will grab another ball here and now going to run forward for a long throw. Pretty decent one. It's headed by Watkins, then headed forward by Target, who's crumbled at the top of the box. Here's Grealish crossing back. That one cleared away by Fofana. Headed back at the top of the box by Target. Barkley wins it back. Trying to find the right pass here. Tries to cut it back, but Mendy is there. And Barkley will be called for a foul. That should probably bring proceedings to a close here. As just 5 seconds remaining in the allotted 2 minutes here. I believe as soon as this ball cleared away, referee should bring things to a halt. It's Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers and Dean Smith will have some things to talk about with their teams. I think both can be a little bit happy, but also would hope to see a little bit more in the final third from both of their sides as we go into halftime level at 0-0. All right, guys, so that'll do it for the first half. Yeah, that's an interesting one. It's a lot slower than the last couple of games I've cast, unfortunately. Liverpool-Everton, I mean, Liverpool were the better side, but it was just a lot of chaos. And Everton, when they attacked, still felt very dangerous. So it felt exciting. And then also just coming off of that West Ham match where Tottenham was up 3 goals inside the first, 15 minutes. It's not quite the same pacing, you know? I think Aston Villa is slightly the better side in that first half. It took a little bit to get their feet under them. Leicester had most of the possession for the first 15 minutes. They had that one chance through Castagna, although I think that should have been called back for a foul on Barnes. I mean, Barnes didn't mean to take out Matty Cash, but he runs into him, and that stops Matty Cash from being able to go defend Castagna. If Castagna scores there, you're furious. What? This guy ran into me. I literally had plenty of time to go defend this guy, Castagna, and this guy just runs into me. So I think that was the best opportunity for Leicester. And after that, all the chances were Aston Villa's. I mean, I can't remember a shot on target for sure for Leicester. I can't really remember a shot after that. You saw Aston Villa moving up the pitch. They were able to hold possession between their defenders at the half line instead of all the way in their own half. Grealish was getting involved. He plays that great back heel for Target. Target was getting free kicks. It seemed like they were the much more likely side to score and had a couple of chances coming in the box. I don't think they really got any of them on target. And some good defending around the box by Leicester limited some of those opportunities. But they seem to be the better of the two sides. I think if you're Dean Smith, you want to, it's kind of a keep it up halftime talk. It's the kind of it's coming halftime talk. And it kind of feels like it does. Although they have, to be fair, like I said, Leicester's been defending well in the final third, and I don't think Aston Villa has been that convincing in the final third as of yet. So maybe 1 or 2 tweaks was sort of a come-on talk, and then I think Brendan Rodgers will have a little bit more to talk about because they're penetrating the lines a little too easily, and I think part of that is because they are winning second balls better than Leicester. And I know that second balls are something that's kind of talked about as it's sort of like an underappreciated part of the game. Because it's a scrappy thing. It's like a positioning thing. It's not flashy. But both of these teams are sending players to press high because both teams want to play out of the back, and their scouting and strategies have both been to say, okay, we're gonna, we're playing in a 4-2-3-1 essentially, or 3 attack, 1 central striker, 2 wingers, and then 3 midfielders, right? And so they've both essentially said, when we're defending, we're going to kind of play a 4-4-2. We're going to have 2 strikers up top, and we're going to have them press the opponent's center backs. And we don't want the center backs to be able to play short passes into the midfield. So they're pressing the center backs high. They're pressing the midfielders, the 3 midfielders, high, so they can't receive and turn. And so they're trying to force teams into long balls. And when that happens, your midfielders need to be like alert, because if you're being forced into a long ball, someone's going to win the header. And then if you bring the ball down successfully, well, now you've cleared one of the lines already of defense, right? Now you have it in midfield, even if it wasn't by the route that you wanted it to be. And I think they've done a better job doing that. They've been a little more composed in midfield, moving it out wide. I think Grealish, after the first 10 minutes where he really didn't touch the ball, has been really a nuisance for the left-hand side of Leicester. You can see Matty Cash underlapping a lot on the right-hand side. Again, it's not a ton of great attacking, but they just seem to have more control higher up the pitch right now. They seem to be more composed on the ball, and they seem to have kind of settled into, this is where we need to stand, this is where we need to pick up second balls, and this is where we go after we pick it up. And so I think they'll have a little less to talk about. I think Brendan will need to talk to his midfielders and his strikers, particularly Iheanacho, about their positioning for pressure in second balls. But other than that, it's still a pretty close match. Either team could score for sure. We'll see how it goes. I would expect James Maddison to come on 60 minutes too, probably for Tielemans. But we'll see if Tielemans can do something in the second half to justify it. But on a yellow card, I don't think he's been super influential, and I think you want some creativity there. So I would expect Maddison between 60 and 70 minutes for Leicester. But we'll see what the second half has in store. I'm going to go grab some water, and I will be right back. All right. Oh, that's a little too loud. Maybe it was just a swing. Okay, yeah, no, we're good. It's just a swing. I have like my stream has the stream software has like a decibel meter for my mic aux, and it has like a green, yellow, and red zone. And when I swung my mic back around, it like went into the red. I'm like, oh crap, it's too loud. So showing highlights of the earlier match between West Ham and Tottenham, and I highly recommend you watch those highlights. Tottenham had 3 goals inside the first 15 minutes, and then West Ham scored 3 in the last 10 minutes to tie the game. And the last one from Manuel Lanzini is an absolute screamer. I mean, an incredible goal. Just unbelievable finish. The dude just, like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's funny because, like, I've had this conversation with my roommate. Like, broadcasters have, like, a ton of words to, like, describe good goals, great goals, right? It was like a rocket. It was like a rope. It was like smashed it in, right? Or like, you know, poked it by him, right? Or like all these like descriptive terms. And sometimes when a goal is like so good, it's just so hard to describe in like good words. Like, you know, sometimes like some of Steven Gerrard's old strikes on, if you like watch a reel of him, are like, they're like pile drivers, right? Or they're like something like that, you know, cannon or whatever. But like it's funny because I think a lot of people make fun of him. But if you remember like the broadcaster who does the Messi call where it's like, it's magisterial, it's like not even a word, right? But it kind of captures like what that goal was. It's like very ironic that, like, you know, we have all these words to describe it and they all like do an okay job, but it always feels like when a goal is that good, it always feels like the word that you choose to describe it just isn't enough. It always feels like that for me. I don't know why. Pundits are just going through some commentary. Actually interested, what are the ratings right now? I usually go through ratings at the end of the game because obviously things can change like drastically, but I kind of want to see what FootMob has right now. Okay, I like that. Yeah, 7-3. What does Matty Cash done to deserve a 7-3? Got a yellow card. I think it's pretty fair right now if I look around these ratings. I think Trezeguet has been really good, actually. I think he's been super industrious. Ming's probably deserving of a 7. Yeah, I think he made like one mistake. He's been really solid. I think Grealish's ratings is a little low. I think he's been a little more effective than that's giving him credit for. Just had like 10 minutes where he just wasn't involved in the game. Speaking of defending, though, Fofana has been good so far, I would say. He's pretty young and obviously filling in, but that's a good sign for them because they have Evans in there for like experience, but if they have Fofana and he can play well, that's just such good cover. And if or when Evans needs to retire, you can just slot that dude in. And that's like really good. I mean, Leicester still have a pretty good team. It's like super surprising. I mean, consider like Ricardo Pereira still has time, like doesn't play and still has time to like come back from injury. And they have like Justin, who's solid. Castagna's been really effective. He's been a good signing. They still have Pereira, who's been probably like one of the best 2 right backs in the Premier League for the last like 2 seasons before his like serious injury. Still missing Ndidi, who's out for a month or out for a couple months. Obviously, Vardy's not here today. It's kind of crazy that they have such a good side still, but very unfortunate that they did not make the Champions League last season. That would have been so huge for them as a club. Absolutely so huge, because it's the first time when they won the Premier League. It was the sort of thing where, like, yeah, they went to the Champions League, but nobody thought they would do well in the Champions League. Like, no one was convinced, right? Because their run was such a miracle run. Their team really was not like that good, right? They just found a play style. They played their hearts out, and they, had caught a year where they did really well. They like defended super well, and a lot of the top teams just weren't having great seasons. So all of those factors combined, it was like, yeah, they won the Premier League, but like no one was convinced about them in the Champions League. And last year, when they were fighting for Champions League places, you were fairly convinced that they could make a decent showing in a Champions League group. Like, their team has depth, a lot of talent, solid defenders, right? Like a decent coach. Like Brendan Rodgers is a good coach. Like, you believe that they had what it took to, like, you wouldn't put them as favorites probably in the group, but you had the belief that they could like scrap through a group and potentially find a way out or finish third and end up in Europa League, and like they would belong, right? And so it's unfortunate for them that last season I think they didn't make it. Fortunate for me and my fandom, because I'm a Man U fan, and Man U not getting the Champions League would have been devastating. But yeah, that was rough. And I'm very surprised that after that they did not. They held on to Ndidi. I thought Ndidi would be sold for sure. It's not easy to find good holding players who are both composed in possession and can anchor your midfield, as everyone has seen from the value that Conte provided for their team and then has provided for Chelsea since being bought. All right, teams are coming back out, so we're going to get back to broadcaster mode pretty soon here. Once again, feel free to ask any questions or any requests in chat, and I'll try to interact as much as possible, but I will be mostly in broadcaster mode, and then I'll join you at full time for thoughts about the match and some brief player ratings. I do need to check one thing briefly. I need to make sure. I have a meeting later today. Okay, it's at 4 o'clock. We're good. We got plenty of time. If it was at 3, I probably was going to skip the match ratings and whatnot, but we have time. So we'll go through those at the end of the match. And yeah, it looks like the game's about to get back started, so I will join you at halftime and or at full time, and we'll talk about the match and the players. Teams coming back out here, as you see the managers coming out last here. Iheanacho started well, but didn't really have a chance following 20 minutes, and it's a little bit starved of possession there, as Aston Villa certainly took the better of proceedings, but still 0-0 makes it anyone's game. A single chance, a single swing of momentum, and one of these teams could run away with this one. Both very capable of pouring in the goals as well. So Leicester now has possession on the left-hand side here. Justin getting barged into there by Trezeguet from behind, and that's an easy free kick call right at the beginning of the first half here, and should be able to swing it in from the left-hand side. Yuri Tillman is going to be standing over this one. Very clumsy early challenge here from Trezeguet. It's a decent opportunity. Here comes the free kick, swinging in there. Mings is there. He comes back to Perez. Poked around the top of the box. He gets a shot at the flex, and it's going to go out for a corner kick. First one of the second half here. This was very dangerous, as the initial header from Mings is decent, but it doesn't come all the way out of the box, and people are afraid to put a challenge in against Perez for fear of taking him down for a penalty kick, and he's able to get a shot away. Here comes the corner kick, driven in here, headed away well by Trezeguet there. A little shift here from Pret, trying to get a half yard of space, but is forced back by Aston Villa, Mendy, now all the way back to Schmeichel. Barnes going up with cash, but is deemed to have fouled cash in the challenge. So will be an Aston Villa free kick here. Yeah, Harvey Barnes probably looking a little bit more there to disrupt cash than he was actually looking to win the ball. So fairly easy call there for the referee, I think. Now, Martinez getting us started once again here. Grealish going up to win that one. Here's Watkins, goes to ground, but will not get anything from the referee. Decent defending there from Leicester City. Clipped ahead by Tielemans, does not get over the head of target. Oh, great backwards header from Trezeguet, but well read by Evans. He comes forward. We take a look at the replay here. Evans comes by one. He's trying to push this one past Trezeguet. Oh, he does get clipped there for sure. Trezeguet's trailing foot clipping the shin guard there, or top of the shin guard for Evans. Certainly painful, and will be called for that one rightly by the referee. So Leicester City will restart here. It's in Fofana's feet, now out to Harvey Barnes, who's out here on the right-hand side this time around. His cross in will not get to any of his players. I'm sorry, that was Castagna, actually. Now Aston Villa trying to punt it towards Ollie Watkins as Martinez. McGinn is able to collect it in midfield, though. Barkley out wide here to Target. A bit of a short pass for Target, ends up with Grealish instead. Now it's Douglas Luiz out to Matty Cash. Decent pressure from Leicester will force Aston Villa back. You can see once again, though, Villa able to possess this one a little higher up the pitch between their two center backs, as now Barkley has it. He is forced back. Doesn't see a lot of options around him. Has to try to buy some time, knocking it out to Target. Good interception here by Castagna. He'll poke it away, but Douglas Luiz is there. Here's Cash. Driving in field, but well met by Harvey Barnes. It's back with Konsa now. Douglas Luiz dropped deep once again. Trying to find some options up the field. Mings will go wide here. Grealish, great first touch here. Will drive inside of Perez. Leaves it for Target. He's in the box. Here's the cross. Is blocked away by Evans. Comes back to Grealish here. Grealish dancing around challenges inside the corner of the 18-yard box. Will cross this one all the way over to Trezeguet. Takes it down on his chest, and a great challenge by James Justin. Will poke it out for a corner kick. Excellent work here by Aston Villa once again. So we mentioned they were in the ascendancy at the end of the first half there and looking good once again as Grealish takes that very well, makes it very dangerous. Target finding these good runs in behind the opposition's defensive line, able to keep himself on sides as well. They're rewarded with their first corner kick of the second half. Here it comes. Again, in towards the back post, headed away at the near by Evans, but goes straight up into the air. Here's Konsa. Clearance is finished by Iheanacho. Now headed back in, but it looks like Ross Barkley's offside, so he stops running, and that will allow Schmeichel to come out and collect. His punt, however, will not find Harvey Barnes, and Aston Villa will have the ball once again. Now here is Douglas Luiz. Cash. Into Konsa. Now Tyrone Mings clipping this one forward. That one is deflected by Mendy. Will go out for an Aston Villa throw here. Throw in taken up towards Watkins, who has struggled a little bit in this match. Has been well marshaled by Fofana as well as Johnny Evans, and has struggled to keep possession, hold up play, and really hasn't seen a lot of the ball. And similar story for Iheanacho following the first 10 to 15 minutes of the match, but Ollie Watkins has had that mostly for the entire match. More success for Villa with Jack Grealish, but typically on the wings rather than through the center, as Grealish goes up, wins this one against Castagna, has 3 defenders, and wow, what a great move here from Grealish. Draws Castagna into another foul. That is the 4th foul on Grealish in this match. Did very well to lift that one up in the air just as he saw Castagna's challenge coming in here. You see him roll this one, flick it up just as he sees Castagna looking to try to poke that one away, and as he flicks it up, Castagna connects with his leg. It's an easy foul call, and it's very, very clever work there from Jack Grealish. So good free kick opportunity here for Aston Villa. Matt Targett standing over this one again, so will be an in-swinging free kick here. Or sorry, out-swinging. Here it comes. Headed by Tyrone Mings across, but good defending at the back post by James Justin. Here's an attempted shot by John McGinn. Completely swings through that one and comes off the side of his foot. Actually stays in play. Oh, great back heel here from Trezeguet. Will find Konsa. Konsa crosses it to the back post. It's cleared away by Mendy. Not a bad cross there for a center back. And it will be the second corner of the second half here for Aston Villa. Grealish will deliver this one. And loop this one towards the back post. Up goes Konsa. Wow, great opportunity there for Aston Villa. Konsa gets his head on that one and narrowly misses Schmeichel's left-hand post as we take a look at the replay. Matched up against Pratt. Wins the battle, heads it down, but just can't get it on target. It goes just about a half foot wide there. Another decent opportunity here for Villa, but cannot get that one on the frame. Is long ball up here from Evans. Konsa running this one down. Has Iheanacho pressuring him, and Iheanacho with a very frustrated challenge there on Konsa. Puts both of his hands into Konsa's back. Konsa happy to take the contact. Falls over. Draws an easy foul call there. And Aston Villa will be able to move up the pitch once again. We can see essentially all Aston Villa at the moment really have not seen Leicester any sort of real attack here since the beginning of the second half. Had one free kick on that Trezeguet challenge, but was pretty easily cleared away despite the deflection off of Ayoze Perez's shot. The team's still deadlocked here at 0-0. Nobody able to break the deadlock. Konsa coming the closest there. Just like a foot away there on that left-hand post of Schmeichel's, but still unable to get that header goalwards, and pretty disappointing effort. And Aston Villa will probably start to feel a little frustrated as their control over this match has not been rewarded with anything tangible, not even really a shot on target. As Target there gets that one over to Cash, and Cash cannot control it. It will go out for a throw-in here. Still looking for our opening goal here. Would certainly add a bit of energy to this match. Would force one of the sides to try to play potentially a little more direct, take a couple more risks here. Ooh, poor clearance there from Evans though. It's into Douglas Luiz. Here's Jack Grealish turning at the top of the box. Shifts it onto his right foot. Finds Trezeguet. Here's the cross. Great sliding challenge from James Justin. Will knock that one away. You can see that clearance from Johnny Evans doesn't come far enough. Grealish very patient here. Waits for the right pass. Finds Trezeguet. Trezeguet tries to pick out a pass, but James Justin does very nicely to knock that one away. Will be a corner kick here. Here's McGinn. This one lofted way towards the back post. Good header initially by Fofana. Now Barnes comes away with a great challenge here by Target. Second one as well as he gets to his feet quickly. This one will spin out of bounds for a Leicester throw-in. So they've cleared the danger here, but are still locked in their own end. We'll see what Brendan Rodgers is going to do. Once again, I am expecting to see a couple of changes here at the 60-minute mark. I expect James Maddison will be one of them, as Douglas Luiz clipped there by Pratt, but not going to get anything from the referee. Will just be a Leicester throw in here. But Leicester really needs a little bit more verve in their attack and in their possession. They have not seen a lot of the ball, and in the few chances they've had, just have not looked like scoring, have not looked convincing in the final third. As Fofana moving this one back to Schmeichel. Do you think the introduction of a player like Maddison could really be a positive move to break the deadlock, find some sort of creative pass, creative dribble, something just to disrupt these Aston Villa defenders? Mings and Konsa have looked very comfortable throughout this match, trying to defend Iheanacho, who really has not had a look at the ball for the past really 30 minutes. Here's Tielemans clipping this one over the top. Castagna's going to chase, but he's a little bit slow. Mings is forced to clear it as that ball holds up on the turf and will go out for a Leicester throw in here. Oh, here's Ayoze Perez receiving the throw, crosses it back. Excellent defending from Trezeguet. That's a free kick to Villa. Trezeguet once again doing his due diligence on the defensive end, coming back to break up what could have been a dangerous attack there. Ayoze Perez doing a nice job waiting for a couple of his players to streak forward. Leaves that ball behind, and there were two Leicester shirts around there before Trezeguet arrived to poke it away first. So excellent defending from him once again. Here is the clearance from Emiliano Martinez. Ollie Watkins fighting with Fofana for this one. Fofana comes out the victor, and Leicester come away with the ball, but well read by Konsa will win it back. It's Target now, over to Grealish. Two defenders around him. Ayoze tries to slide in there, cannot get it. Grealish maintains possession. Great pass into the feet of John McGinn. Now out to Target. He's met by Perez. Sorry, this is Ross Barkley. Grealish. Target in advance of him. Grealish trying to take on Perez. And Perez will get a poke in there and will draw a foul on Grealish. Good defending by Perez this time around. A reminder, he is still on a yellow card for a foul on Grealish in the first half. So does excellently there to track back. Be patient. Schmeichel now will be able to restart this one again. Still looking for the opening goal in this one. Neither side able to break the deadlock, and neither Aston Villa looking decently close at a couple of occasions. Leicester really not looking like they have been that close. Here is James Justin moving this one out to Harvey Barnes. Barnes cutting inside here. Finds Tielemans. Attempt at the return pass is blocked by Ross Barkley. It's Tielemans from about 25, and a good save by Emi Martinez here. Decent strike there from Tielemans. Actually challenges Martinez for the first time here. Oh, there's a slight deflection also off of Mings, and Martinez does well to keep his eyes on that one. Hello, Swanky Spurs. How do you do today? If you're actually a Spurs fan, sorry about the result earlier. It was a bit of a rough last 10 minutes. Here's the throw in from Aston Villa now. Ollie Watkins with it for the first time in a while. And Watkins unfortunately gives it right away here. Leicester now with possession, still in a little bit of trouble as Watkins here to pressure. Comes back to the feet of Schmeichel and will be cleared up the line here, headed forward by Target. I'm sorry to hear that, Spurs. That was I can only imagine what Mourinho said to them in the dressing room after coughing up a 3-goal lead in 10 minutes. But I mean, at the very least, your attack looks fantastic. Here comes Matty Cash as Aston Villa wins this one back. We'll cross this one early. Ollie Watkins is open, but Fofana equal this one. Now it's with Grealish. Cuts it back on his right. Met by Castagna. Now Perez as well. Tries to dance in between them. Fofana gets a poke in, and it comes last off of Grealish. It will be a goal kick for Leicester. Again, Aston Villa seemed to be on the doorstep, but Leicester still defending very well, doing everything they can to put bodies in the way. Grealish dances well. He goes through 2 challenges, but Fofana is alert to the danger, knocks that one away from him. Fofana really has been very strong here today in his debut. Place of Kaglar Soyuncu has been quite self-assured, good in possession, and has defended very well along with Evans, James Justin, and Castagna. Again, Aston Villa have been the side who have been pressuring for most of the match. And now Justin streaking through. He goes to ground here, but there's no way this is going to be a call. We'll see what the referee has to decide here. But it looked, for all intents and purposes, that Justin threw himself to the ground here. Yeah, he has thrown himself to the ground. And then he's just on the ground as Cash comes over him. And the fact... He called a foul? What? Ooh, my opinions are slipping here a little bit, but that seemed for all the world to be James Justin just throwing himself to the ground there. That was, yeah, very, very soft free kick given here by John Mawson. It's in a great position for Yuri Tillemans. I think Matty Cash is unfortunate on that one. I thought it was more likely that Justin would get a yellow card for simulation than the other way around. Here is the free kick, though, from Tillemans. See if he's going to shoot this one. He will go for the strike, but Emi Martinez sees it all the way, and fairly easy save at the end of the day for the Aston Villa keeper. And yeah, I have to say, Swanky, I'm kind of surprised too, particularly that last strike from Lanzini was just a thunderbolt out of the blue. That was incredible. That was... quite a way to finish a match. Leicester back in possession now, and after that free kick, a little bit of momentum here for them, the first in a while. It's moving it around between Tillemans and Mendy. Good first time pass out wide by Pratt. Finds Castagna, comes back to him, but Target. Good sliding challenge there, knocks it away from the Leicester City attacker. Throw in back to Pratt quickly. Mendy. Perez trying to offer as an option here. Mendy defended well by Barkley. Douglas Luiz chipping in as well. Oh, and that deflection comes fortunately to Mendy. He tries to play it behind, but Mings is alert to the danger. This pass out connects with Grealish. He doesn't have a lot of support yet. Cuts inside, is looking for the right pass. He's found McGinn, who's onside. Johnny Evans is extremely deep. Here's the cross, and great tracking back from Tillemans will knock that one away. Leicester can get possession back. Sprays it up the field. Iheanacho definitely offsides here. Stops moving and allows Aston Villa to take possession back there. Just a pretty poor cross from Trezeguet there, unfortunately. Grealish picked out the right pass, but the cross from Trezeguet was curling away from his supporting attacker, and it allowed Tillemans to come back and nip in. Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, Swanky. I do think I didn't have a lot of faith in Spurs at the start of the season. I do think there's still a lot to be positive about, though. Your attack looks absolutely incredible, and now Bale is about to get healthy. So, you know, if you can maybe get one of your defenders to perform a little bit better, I think that's kind of the one area. Obviously, your center backs are inconsistent, as a lot of center backs have been, to be fair. But you guys thrashed my team, United, absolutely, after that. And you've been scoring a ton of goals, and Son and Kane kind of look unstoppable right now. So I think there's still a lot to be positive about. And I think, you know, if there is a coach to turn around some defensive frailties, it's Mourinho. So I'd keep your hopes up high for a little while. We'll see how the season develops. But I was more worried about Tottenham's attack than anything, or their midfield than anything at the start of the season. And it has looked better for me than I thought. And thank you for the follow, Swinky Spurless. Welcome to the booth. We have a corner kick here for Aston Villa. Still in the ascendancy of this match. This one going in towards the back post, and this time Schmeichel, ready for that one, will come out and claim in the air. Very well done by the Leicester City keeper here. Still 66 minutes into this one. We are without a goal, and very unfortunate. I think this is a match that deserves a goal here and a clear leader. I do think the more likely candidate still looks to be Aston Villa. Once again, good play from Trezeguet. Matty Cash now streaking up the right-hand sideline. Doesn't have any support, is waiting for it. Trezeguet now forced to play back to Cash. Good defending by Justin. Knocked that one out for a throw, and it looks like we will have a change to the match. James Maddison has been readied here by Leicester City, so right on cue between 60 and 70 minutes. Maddison will be introduced here to try to introduce a bit of a spark for Leicester City. He will come on for Dennis Pratt. So, not quite exactly what I had predicted. Yuri Tillemans will remain on the field, but we will get James Maddison here. Now, we will see if he can be the difference maker for Brendan Rodgers and Leicester City in this one. This is a match crying out for one moment of brilliance, whether it's from Aston Villa or from Leicester City, to break this deadlock. These teams have played well. They both had good spells of possession, good flowing attacks at different points of the match. Aston Villa, of course, have looked the more likely side to score as McGinn wins another corner kick here. But again, these teams are in the top four at the moment for a reason. Both can be poised to score at any time here. And the fifth corner of the second half here for Aston Villa. McGinn on top of this one again. This one comes in very deep towards Tyrone Mings. It evades all three Leicester defenders, but Mings is forced outside the box here. Oh, there's a silly challenge as this one comes back in. Here's the back post. Watkins misses his strike. It comes to Grealish. Grealish matched up. Goes to the top of the box. Here's the strike from Douglas Luiz. It's right at Kasper Schmeichel, who sees it the whole way and is able to catch that one. There may be a yellow card coming here for a Leicester player at some point. As you can see, Fofana goes in very late here to Tyrone Mings. I think when play finally is abbreviated, he may get a yellow card here. But the referee allows play to carry on here. And great pass from Grealish to Douglas Luiz. But can see Kasper Schmeichel not unsighted and is able to catch that one pretty easily. Here's a clip to the back post from Tillemans. Castagna trying a sliding cross there. Can't quite get the contact. Great shift here from Trezeguet. Coming forward is Barkley. Has a couple of options. One to his left is Grealish. Here's Trezeguet streaking through the middle. Going to go all the way to the right towards Ollie Watkins. His touch is good. Sets himself up to the left foot. It's deflected. Good defending here will allow Schmeichel to catch. You can see Villa still dangerous here. Now on the counterattack as opposed to in possession. Watkins, his best moment of the match here, trying to shift it onto his left foot, but James Justin equal to it once again. And yes, Spurs, football is definitely my favorite sport. I live in Chicago. I was a college soccer player in Division III and been following it since. I used to play baseball actually, but have been playing soccer since I was 11 because as soon as I started playing, I fell in love with it. So the goal is to use the this broadcasting practice to try to become a broadcaster for Major League Soccer at some point. Schmeichel going to launch this one up the field, and this one actually won back by James Maddison, and he's going to be dragged down here by Douglas Luiz, who will certainly get a yellow card for his troubles here. He will go into the book. The third Aston Villa player will be joining Matty Cash alongside John McGinn here. Yeah, very easy call here for the referee, and this is a great shooting position here for Leicester City. More central than any of the free kicks they have had so far, and will give either James Maddison or Yuri Tillemans an excellent opportunity here to try to break the deadlock. As we see, Kelechi Iheanacho will be subbed off here for Islam Slimani, who we have not seen in a very, very long time, really since his signing 2 seasons ago. Had a few starts in that one, but with a striker as prolific as Jamie Vardy in the side, has been very hard to find playing time for both Slimani and Iheanacho. And with Vardy out today, he will get his chance here to try to make something happen. But it will be James Maddison standing over this free kick. Maddison setting up for it. Here is James Maddison. Into the wall. Comes back out to Maddison. He drives into the box. Great challenge here from Ollie Watkins of all people, and will take it forward. Connects well to Barkley. Hat is robbed of possession by Fofana. It's out wide here to Madison. Running in behind him is Slimani, cutting into his right foot. That pass deflected. Here's Barnes, still inside the 18-yard box. Great defending here from Matty Cash, poking it off of Barnes. Barnes does well to win possession back, but once again defended well by Trezeguet. And Barnes finding absolutely no purchase against this Aston Villa right-hand side duo. Trezeguet winning possession back strongly there. Moves it out wide to Watkins here. Couple of Aston Villa players moving up the field. Watkins going to be forced to check it up and wait for some support. Oh, he tries a dangerous pass into the midfield, but it does connect with McGinn. McGinn will go back to Matty Cash. Now back with Konsa. He'll drive forward past Slimani, who's still trying to track him. Konsa on quite a long run here. His pass to Watkins does not connect, though. Leicester come away with it. Poor touch by Mendy. Robbed of possession. It's with Grealish, who also has it poked away. And that is going to be a foul call on Castagna. And he is going to get a booking here for persistent fouling onto Grealish. We mentioned this earlier in the match. That is the 6th time that Grealish has been fouled in this match. 3 of those have been by Castagna. And Swankies, right now I am mostly calling EPL matches. I will call Champions League matches when they start again because they're during the midweek. It's more of a time thing than anything else. I know the Premier League the best, and I have a full-time job during the week, and I work for a startup as well in my free time. So I would cast more leagues, particularly the Bundesliga. I find very fun to cast, but it's more of a timing thing than anything else, I would say. I'm going to try to add it in the future, but it's just kind of when I'm available, and that's mostly on the weekends. Free kick from Villa does not find anyone. It's cleared away by Leicester City. Slimani moving this one forward. Castagna tries to drive it around target. Cannot do so. Oh, it's also kind of hard to cast Spanish League games because of the be-in thing. So that one is kind of like, yeah. You know, it's hard. Be-in's like also quite expensive for like a monthly subscription. So I do think if I added any leagues, it would probably be the Bundesliga because they do have some midweek games that I could cast. And I think those games are exciting. Oh, Watkins has taken it off Mendy. He's also rode the challenge of Evans. And the foul will be called here. Not sure if Evans will be booked for this one. Yes, he will. So he will be the 3rd Leicester player to be booked, 3 each. Just showing you how even this game has been in terms of quality of chances and defending. 3 cards for each side. Again, Aston Villa have certainly been the better of the 2 teams here today. It's very good from Watkins there, robbing Mendy of possession and then shifting it past Johnny Evans, who leaves his leg there, takes down the Aston Villa striker. Multiple Aston Villa players hanging out around the ball right now. Tyrone Mings trying to send some sort of message through his shirt. Looks like they're going to try some sort of training ground routine here. Barkley's over the ball. Here's a bit of a training ground routine. Try to pass short, but it's broken up. Great tackle here by Target. Takes the ball. Attempted crossfield pass here from Trezeguet is poor. Grealish tries to jump on the chested pass from Perez, but cannot do so. Tyrone Mings still up here in attack, trying to pressure Castagna. Forces Castagna into a clearance. It's a pretty decent one. It's picked up by Slimani. This pass forces Barnes back, though. It allows some of the Aston Villa players to retreat here. Oh, Barnes hassled there by John McGinn. Sorry, that's Trezeguet. Will be a foul on him. 75 minutes into the match, just 15 remaining for either team to make their mark on this one. As Chowdhury getting ready to be subbed on here. Here's a good pass into the feet of Madison from James Justin, taking on Trezeguet, but has it poked away from him. Tillemans back out to Madison. Shifts it on his right. Gets a good cross in. It's headed away well by Konsa. Out to Mendy. Mendy clipping this one in. Konsa winning this one once again. Barkley nods this one down well for Douglas Luiz. Great pass into Grealish. Has a player to his left and his right. Will shift this one. Hasn't shifted it yet. He's looking for the shot now. He's kind of run out of room. He crosses it, but nobody believed in him. Nobody made a run across the face of the box, and it's easily controlled by Leicester. Here comes Harvey Barnes now. Gets it inside to Madison. This game opening up just a little bit here as Douglas Luiz late to that one. Now Ayoze Perez with it. Into the path of Slimani. Slimani assessing his options, tries to cross it in, but Douglas Luiz will break it up. It's now Matt Target. Clips this one up the field. And only Fofana there to collect. A little bit more momentum here as Slimani inside the box will cut it back to Barnes. Barnes shifts it onto his left foot. Rides a challenge back onto his right. He's looking for a shooting angle. Will fire with his left, but it goes high and into the empty stands behind the goal. So a bit more momentum here for Leicester in the minutes following the Madison substitution. Barnes trying to find a shooting angle here. Shifts it onto his left, but is always under this one. You can see Grealish is looking for a passing option on this attack. He doesn't really see one. The defender is doing a good job. He carries on with his dribble and eventually gets an excellent cross into the central space around the 6-yard box, but Ollie Watkins sort of bailed on the opportunity, thinking that Grealish would not be able to make that cross. So Chowdhury's on here. Hamza Chowdhury joining the game in favor of Nerlens Mendy. Certainly not the attacking substitution we saw with Madison. Could be just a factor of tired legs here for Mendy. Want to make sure the base of that midfield is strong and ready to do the running necessary in the last 12 minutes of this match. So fight for possession here in midfield will eventually come to Konsa. He will clip this one first time over to the left-hand side, but it's won by Castagna. Watkins dueling a couple of Leicester players. This one still not settled by either team, and Chowdhury just puts his boot through that one. Konsa goes up well to win it, but Madison's there to pick up the second ball, and he is fouled by Douglas Luiz. Keep in mind, Douglas Luiz is on a yellow card already. This one's certainly not as egregious as the first challenge that earned him his caution. Don't think it is worthy of one. He is certainly trying to get out of the way of Madison there. Just ends up clipping the back of his foot. So I think a simple foul call for the referee is the right one. But it will give Leicester another opportunity. And you can see Madison has been very effective since coming onto the pitch here. Has been looking for opportunities, trying to get passes, short passes in around the 18-yard box, and has been hunting second balls as they're cleared up the field a lot better than a couple other midfielders on his team have been. So much more of a threat here since Slimani and Madison have been introduced. Goes with a training ground routine. Short pass to Ayoze Perez, who's in the box, but has two defenders around him. Cuts back on his left. It's blocked by Douglas Luiz there. Excellent work by Douglas Luiz as Ayoze almost made a brilliant move there to give himself a shooting angle. Referee's playing an advantage, but not much of an advantage for Leicester when one of their players is still on the ground. They decide to keep playing. This is crossed in. It goes over the head of Mings, but Slimani can't keep his header down. It will go high and wide of the goal there. Tillemans has finally gotten to his feet here. Just 10 minutes remaining in this one. We still remain deadlocked at zeros. And finally, a substitution will come in here for Aston Villa. New signing Bertrand Traore from Lyon will be coming in here in favor of Trezeguet. I do think Trezeguet has had a very good game here. May have been slightly wasteful on a couple of attacks, but has certainly done his defensive duties to perfection here, tracking back, making life very hard for Harvey Barnes, and being in a lot of critical positions throughout the match. I think his supportive attacking has been solid as well. So good performance here by Trezeguet, but with 10 minutes remaining, tiring legs. I want to get some fresh legs out there, and very speedy ones at that, in the form of Bertrand Traore. This one won by Slimani. Madison shifting it out to Harvey Barnes. Moves this one forward. Has Bertrand Traore now to defend him. He'll cut inside. Tielemans out to James Justin, sets himself, going to cross with the left foot. It's a good-looking cross, but flicked at the near post by Konsa. It comes out to Castagna. He looks back for Chowdhury. Chowdhury into the top of the box. Barnes dribbles to the left, cuts back to James Justin. His pass deflected, and now Bertrand Traore can chase Tielemans. Schmeichel now the only one with it. Leicester trying to move it out once again. Comes into the feet of Slimani. Evans moving this one forward into Harvey Barnes. Cleared away now. McGinn has it. Connects well with Grealish. There's a lot of defenders around Grealish, though. He's forced to cut it back, and it looks like he's upended here. No call from the referee. Fofana tries to get around Barkley. Can't really do so. And eventually Target flicks it into the path of Chowdhury. Finally collected and settled down by Youri Tielemans here. This pass across for James Justin. And James Justin will beat Bertrand Traore with his first touch there. Does very nicely. Here's Barnes now. It's one-on-one with Cash, but Douglas Luiz there to help out. Will block the shot. Tielemans gets it out wide to Castagna. Madison inside the box. Forced back here. A lot of Aston Villa players around him. Castagna crossing from the right-hand side. That one deflected by Matt Target. Chowdhury settles it down. Castagna once again. Chowdhury. Tielemans looks inside. Oh, that one just a little tough for Madison to control. It will come. And Madison asking Tielemans, it looks at Tielemans and says, "Was that for me?" And Tielemans acknowledges that it was, and he says, "Come on, man." The fun interactions between players on the pitch. You get a little bit more of that without the crowds these days. If you do take out the crowd noise, you can often hear the players talking and yelling to each other. It's quite the interesting viewing experience, I will say. Douglas Luiz now moving this one up the field. A lot more pressure here from Leicester in the last 10 minutes. The substitutions have had a positive effect for them. They're not tied down as much as they were. They're getting these second balls and getting into dangerous positions now. Barkley now moving this one out wide. Watkins does well to connect. Target inside to Traore. Moves it back out to Cash. Here's Watkins. Traore. Great tackle here from Chowdhury. Moves it away from Traore. Will go out for a throw-in. 6 minutes remaining. I went the wrong way there. In regulation here, there should be a couple minutes of stoppage time. We have a decent amount of substitutions. 3 for Leicester, 1 so far for Aston Villa. But closing stages in this deadlocked match, and still nothing to show for all of their control are Aston Villa, and seem to have lost their grip a little bit on this match in the last 10 minutes. Leicester have been much more dangerous. Watkins dribbling a little too much here, trying to take on multiple players. He's fortunate his team comes away with possession. Barkley lobs this one across for Target, who is forced to head back to Tyrone Mings. Goes back to Martinez. Martinez will lob this one long under pressure from a Leicester player. It will be won well by Fofana, who looks like an offsides called here on Ollie Watkins as he comes back from an offside position. So Leicester will have possession here in a free kick position. Here's Fofana. Tries to pass it in there to Perez, but it's read well. Taken away, and now Grealish has some room to run. Looking for options. Has 2 players to his right. Will find Bertrand Traore. Cuts it onto his left. Clips it across, but nobody there. Claiming a deflection here, and it will be a deflection. It's the 6th corner of the second half here for Aston Villa. Grealish is so silky on the ball, just flicking it over the outstretched foot there of Tielemans. Waits patiently, finds Traore, his cutback. All right, here's Traore now with the corner kick from the left-hand side. Will be an outswinger with that left foot. Comes in, it's well won at the near post. Target back into the box. This one deflects, but it runs right into the hands of Schmeichel. And the danger will pass here for Leicester. Watkins trying to be obnoxious. but will not stop this punt from Schmeichel. It will drive all the way into the hands of Martinez, though. And Aston Villa will come away with it. Douglas Luiz into McGinn. Cash. Konsa. Tyrone Mings. Mings, crossfield pass here, will pick out Traore well. Has Cash overlapping him. Cutting inside here, looking for options. Goes back across the field towards Grealish. Well controlled on the chest. Two players to defend him here. Castagna and Perez. Cuts inside both. Fakes the shot. Cuts back. Oh, beats Perez. All ends up. He's inside the box. He finds Ross Barkley. Cuts it back. He shoots. It's blocked. Cleared away here by Leicester City. And here is some room to run here now for Slimani. Konsa is with him. And Konsa will beat Slimani there in the one-on-one. Takes it away from him. And Aston Villa can come back the other way. Beautiful work by Jack Grealish on the other end. Very unfortunate to not get a shot on target at the end of it, but it was a good block by James Justin. Absolutely danced by Ayoze Perez there as he entered the 18-yard box. Really brilliant play from him. Here's a Mings. 87 minutes now. Probably just about 5 or 6 minutes remaining, including stoppage time here. Emi Martinez moves this one to Mings. Clips it all the way over to Traore again. Picks him out well once again. Cash inside to Douglas Luiz. Clips this one up towards McGinn. Tries to connect with Watkins. Will do so, but Watkins loses out to Fofana. And now the ball will be brought back for an offsides onto Ollie Watkins. So we look at this replay from Jack Grealish. Watch how he dances around. Oh, Perez here beautifully enters the box. Gets a really nice pass into the feet of Barkley, who also does a good job to cut that one behind him and get a shot off. It's just well defended by Leicester. Here's a ball in behind for Castagna. This is a good cross, but better defending from Mings. And I think that one's a goal kick. It is well played there by Tyrone Mings. Very composed defending. And both sides here have defended extremely well throughout this match. The Leicester defenders certainly with a little bit more to do. But Mings and Konsa have looked very comfortable and very composed anytime a dangerous opportunity has arisen for Leicester City. 89 minutes reached here, just a minute left in regulation here. It seems like we may be destined for a 0-0 draw unless someone can find a moment of magic here to break down these two defenses that have played so well here tonight. Grealish goes up to win this one. McGinn bringing it down. Now a couple of players around him. He's going to clip this one in the back post towards Traore. He heads it but doesn't get the power on it. And Leicester just able, and Schmeichel able to collect that one fairly easily. Now Barnes trying to move it out here. Will find the feet of Tielemans. Traore pressuring. Barnes has it taken away from him by Watkins. Here's Traore trying to find a pass. Will dance around Chowdhury. Connects with Cash. Just 10 seconds left before we reach the end of regulation. Is Konsa with it now. See what the stoppage time decision is here. Still waiting for the number to crop up, and I realize I've not had the timer up this entire half. Good Lord, I'm so sorry. Here's Barkley. 25-yard shot. He scores! Ross Barkley has done it just as we enter stoppage time. It's 1-0 Aston Villa in the 91st minute. It's Ross Barkley. The loanee from Chelsea has done it again. He's scored in 2 successive matches since his loan, and Aston Villa have the goal that they most likely deserve and is most likely the winner here today against Leicester. Look at this as John McGinn, a great turn inside. He finds Barkley in a ton of space. Barkley sets himself up right from the center, just outside the top of the D. It's a 23 or 4 yard strike, and he just tucks it in beautifully, sets it on his right foot, curls it into this bottom left corner. Just a great strike from Barkley. It's so hard for the keepers to get down there. It's just placed right into the corner. It's an absolutely excellent strike. And really, it's nothing more than Aston Villa deserved. They have been the better side in this game. And while Leicester have defended admirably, Ross Barkley has broken the defense in the 91st minute. We have 4 minutes of stoppage time, so just 2.5 minutes remaining. And once again, I apologize. I realized that I did not have the scoreboard up for this entire second half. So you guys watching had really no idea what minute of the match it was, unless you were watching somewhere else. So very sorry about that. But as we can see, 1-0 here in the favor of Aston Villa, courtesy of Ross Barkley. Now Leicester City under the cosh without time. They have used all 3 substitutions, and they just have 2 minutes to try to level this match, as Target battling with Perez for this one. Moved up the field here by Tielemans. No foul called, and Aston Villa allowed to continue playing. Here's Bertrand Traore at the top of the box, right from around. Barkley scored. We'll just keep possession out to McGinn. McGinn does well to find Grealish. Grealish patiently into Barkley. Barkley back across for Cash. Now Watkins into Cash. Cash will fake the cross and just keep possession. Aston Villa happy to play for possession, play for the clock here. Traore holding off Chowdhury. Goes back all the way to Mings. Mings asking for a spread. We'll go long into the right-hand corner here. Towards Cash. It's won by Harvey Barnes, but goes out for a throw-in. And Aston Villa looking so good at the beginning of the season. Just a minute remaining in this match. And if they can hold off, they will be 4-0 in their first 4 matches, with wins against Leicester City, Manchester United, and Liverpool. 4-0 on 12 points. And they will be looking so good after a season in which they struggled fighting relegation the entire season. There were fears they would lose Jack Grealish to another team in the transfer window, and now looking poised to be a threat in this Premier League season. Tyrone Mings once again just going to lob it back into that right-hand corner. Villa really trying to kill clock here. This one headed straight up by Johnny Evans, now cleared away down the line, but only to Konsa, who will go all the way back to his goalkeeper. Just 20 seconds remaining in stoppage time here. Martinez going to send it up the line. It's flicked up further up the field. Fofana is taken down by Ross Barkley. So Leicester will have maybe one last chance here, but regulation just about to expire here. We have reached the 4 minutes in stoppage time, and if Leicester do get a chance, this will be it. Referee whistling to get the play started. Schmeichel knocking it long. Up goes Mings. Wins it well. Down for Chowdhury. Konsa's fouled there in the box, and that will do it. Konsa clipped as he came up to win the header. And that will be the end of the match. Full time is called by John Moss, and Aston Villa run out 1-0 winners here over Leicester City away from home. What a result for them, and what a string of results to start the season. Aston Villa 4-0 at the beginning of this season. 12 points to their name in their first 4 matches, 3 of them against top 5 sides from last season. A 1-0 win over Man U, a 7-2 drubbing of Liverpool, and now this, a 1-0 victory over Leicester City. This one courtesy of the 91st minute goal from Ross Barkley. So Aston Villa winners here today. Thank you once again for tuning into the program for the cast. I do hope you enjoyed the cast. I hope you enjoyed the game. So we're going to run through the table. We'll run through player ratings here really quickly. All right, we'll run through the Leicester players. So Schmeichel, 6. I think that's fine. He saved what he needed to. That was a tough shot to save. I don't blame him for missing that one. It's a good strike from Barkley. Castagna, 6'3". I think it's about fair. I think he was solid. Didn't do anything really wrong. Did pick up a yellow card and fouled Grealish a decent amount of times. So a 6 I think is fine. Fofana has it a 7.6. I think considering his performance, I think his performance was very good. Considering they conceded, I'll give him a 7. I think he was very strong. I think he was the better of their two defenders. Marshaled Ollie Watkins very well. I'll give him a 7. I'll give Johnny Evans a 6. Picked up a yellow card. Was fine, and I think marshaled Watkins fine. You could maybe give him a 6.5. Is arguable. James Justin, I think 6.5 probably fared. Had a lot of last-ditch challenges. Did very well on that right-hand side. Defended pretty strongly, but again, they conceded at the end there, so will lose a little bit of their rating. Tillemans, giving him a 6.8. I think more of a 6.5 probably. Did his job fairly well. Picked up a yellow card early in the match. Was maybe not as creative as he wanted to be. I think Mendy deserves a 6. I think he did his job and nothing more really. Didn't contribute to attacks. I think was not great at picking up loose balls either. I think Aston Villa picked up a lot more loose balls in the midfield than Leicester did for most of the match here, and so I don't think Mendy deserves that high of a rating. Pratt, I think a 6 or a 5.5 is fine. Iosi Perez, 6.5. I think he was one of the more dangerous attackers. Danced through a lot of challenges, tried to set his teammates up. Did pick up a booking for fouling Jack Grealish, as did almost everyone on that right-hand side of the field. Iheanacho, probably a 6. I think he was good to start the match, but faded very harshly as they were starved of possession. I think Harvey Barnes, probably a 6.5 as well. He was solid, but not necessarily inspiring, and was marshaled fairly well, I think, by both Trezeguet and Matty Cash. So let's go through the Aston Villa players. Emiliano Martinez, 8.0. Yeah, I think 7.5 or 8. I mean, he saved everything that came at him. He made it look very easy, composed in possession, and just generally was super solid. I don't know if he was the best player on Villa, which is what it's giving him right now, but he was very solid and has been for most of the matches so far. Matty Cash, yeah, I think a 7.5, 8 is deserving. He was always overlapping Trezeguet, and I think he and Trezeguet did an excellent job defending this right-hand flank. Konsa, 7, yep. Tyrone Mings, 7.5, yep. Super solid, those two, getting a good shutout. Never looked like getting scored on. Were super composed. Target, 7, yep. I think that's fair. John McGinn, 7.6. I think he gave the assist. 7.5 is fine for John McGinn because he has the assist for Barkley. So that works. So 7.6 for him. Douglas Luiz comes away with the 7. I think 7 or 6.5. I do think Douglas Luiz was good in possession and did his job fairly better than Nampalys Mendy did. So I think he should get a higher rating. Barkley gets an 8 for me. I mean, he was a little invisible in the first half. I think he was better in the second half combining with Grealish, and then he has the winner, and it's a great strike. So that's 2 goals in 2 games for him. I think Trezeguet for me gets a 7.5. I think he did more than shows up on the stat sheet. I think he was huge in marshalling that right-hand side of the field and maybe a little wasteful on 1 or 2 attacks, but was also involved in a lot of attacks. Ollie Watkins does get a 6 for me. He was the least effective of all of Villa's attacking players for sure. Just starved of a lot of possession, and again, Fofana and Johnny Evans played him pretty well, particularly Fofana. Jack Grealish, 8. Yeah, absolutely. He was fantastic once again. Got fouled 6 or 7 times in the match. Was good on set pieces. Was excellent in possession. Was dancing by challenges. Set up his teammates well. Just so influential for this team. And despite being uninvolved for the first 10 minutes while they didn't have possession, once they were, he was a big part of it. So I think pretty fair ratings from a lot of Foot Mob today. As we look at the substitutes, Chowdhury, 6. I think Madison can have a 6.5. He was maybe giving possession away a little bit, but he was trying things that the rest of his teammates were, and he was picking up a lot of second balls from him, and I think his introduction is what kind of swung the momentum a little bit more in their favor. Slimani, 6 is okay, I think is fine, and then none of the substitutes for Aston Villa came on in time to get a rating. So again, that'll do it for the cast. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow for one of the Monday games, so I'll put that on my schedule and hopefully see some of you tuning in. But thanks again. Hope you enjoyed the cast, and I will see you tomorrow.